say they want to bring me in guilty for the killing of a deputy, for the life of a deputy. But I say, I shot the sheriff, but I swear it was in self-defense. I shot the sheriff, and they say it is a capital offense. Sheriff John Brown always hated me for what I don't know. And every time that I plant a seed, he said kill it before it grows. He said kill it before it grows. I say,
All right, folks. Welcome back to the Sports Desk. We're in the second hour here. We have Isabel Kusian on us, the sports reporter for the Washington Post, covers the Capitals. So the Capitals last night, the Washington Capitals beat the good old the Carolina Hurricanes by a score of 5-4 last night. So Isabel, thanks for joining us. Just talk about that game last night. Looks like Alex Ovechkin is doing a good job winning that game in the third period and also in the overtime.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty crazy game. Very just up and down. Caps were up by 2 goals, and then all of a sudden, Carolina scored 3 unanswered. There was a fluky play, and it seemed like it was going to be a night where the supporting cast kind of carried the Caps with Devontae Smith-Pelly, scoring, Alex Chiasson scoring, Dmitry Orlov, and then, lo and behold, you need the superstar to kind of deliver the win. He scores that backhand game-tying goal, and then the overtime shot, and it's kind of perfect in the 41st game of the season, the halfway point. He's right on track for 50 goals again with his 26 tally. So pretty amazing what he's doing. At 32 years of age and in his 13th season.
Yeah. So Alex Ovechkin has been like the face of that franchise for a very long time. So just talk about, is he going to be sticking around longer?
Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're breaking up. I'm having trouble hearing you.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Just talk about Thursday night. You guys, the Capitals are off, and they're doing something special down in National Harbor Casino night. Just talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, they do it for charity every year. I think it's a really good time. They auction off, cool stuff. There's a silent auction part, and then there's a live auction where you can, potentially win. Going shooting with a player, or I think Jay Beagle usually does the shooting with beaks thing. And then, or sometimes it's bowling with players, or, courtside seats to a Wizards game with Brooks Orpik and John Carlson. I don't know if they're doing that this year, but I know it's something they've done in the past. It's all for a good cause, and you're sitting beside Alex Ovechkin as he gambles away fake money. So I think it's pretty fun. I went one year, and certainly seemed like everyone was having a good time.
Well, talk about Sunday. You guys are playing the Blues. It seems like every time I see in the papers, you guys are playing the Blues a lot. So, so just talk about them coming to town on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, they just play the 2 times a year, so maybe you should look at the paper more often. No, it's a good test for the Caps because St. Louis has been one of the top teams in the Western Conference this year. I feel like those games are usually pretty competitive, and for Washington right now with the Metro so tight, and they have 4 days off before that game, kind of randomly. I think it's going to be tough just because of the long break in between games. It's kind of unusual, and I know that's something they're certainly trying to prevent. Not as Barry Trotz says, a body in motion stays in motion. So they're kind of using this week to work on some things, have some good practices, or just taking, 1 day off. And I think it'll be, a really good kind of measuring stick for where the Caps are, and against that team especially.
Yeah. Well, Isabel, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I know you have a busy schedule, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the 4 days off, and I hope to talk to you more down the road.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be right back here on HerbFM Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Neil Diamond.
She got painted eyes, have a way of taking to you, cut your heart out for the prize, while a bitch sings hallelujah.
All right, but thanks for coming back to the Sports Desk here on HerbFM Radio. We have Craig Myers, who writes for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and he covers the men's basketball team, and this week, Saturday, they're going to take on Virginia Tech, and next Wednesday, they'll be taking on a Duke squad down out there in Pittsburgh. So, Craig, thanks for joining us. Just talk about the team so far. What do you guys like about them?
Yeah, I mean, this is a year where you really have to take everything not necessarily with a grain of salt, but like with a big chunk of salt, like a big boulder of salt, because it's a team that's got 7 freshmen and 9 first-time Division I players. People talk sometimes about how freshmen are more easily adaptable to college basketball now, because we have examples like Duke and Kentucky where they come in and help lead them to Final Fours and to national titles. But this is a bit team of their 7 freshmen. Only one of them was more than a 3-star recruit. So this is a team that we expected to struggle a good deal. They had to replace all their starters from last year, and they've been incredibly inconsistent. I would say it's probably been their defining trait. Probably not that unexpected considering how young they are.
Mm-hmm.
But they, so they'll have games, and it'll happen even in the span of 4 days, where they need overtime to beat Mount St. Mary's, and then they play West Virginia, what's now a top 10 team, at home, and they're within 2 with 3 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just for their coaches, they're maddeningly inconsistent, but I think that they kind of get the deal. I think they kind of expect this to happen. Just I've heard consistency more times this season than I did all of last season. It's just it's kind of an occupational hazard when you have that many freshmen.
Yeah. Well, last time you guys played a Louisville squad, they're in Louisville, Kentucky, and lost 77-51. What did you learn from that game?
I think that game, more than anything else, is that this team, I think the matchup in some ways went as I expected it to a little bit. Mm-hmm. Where Louisville's got, two guys down low, one's a 7-footer, one's 6'10", and they're playing a Pitt team who's without its the best player in Ryan Luther, who's a senior forward for them. He's injured. He's 6'9", and then without him, I mean all their guys down low are freshmen or JUCO transfers who really just don't produce all that much. So it really highlighted their limitations down low without Luther, and it showed that this team offensively. I mean, there was a period they went period of 8 minutes 18 seconds in the first half without scoring a point. So they so I think it really just showed how lost offensively this team can get and how quickly things can kind of snowball for them.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about playing Virginia Tech on Saturday. What did Coach Stallings say today at practice for that game?
Yeah, so we haven't talked to him about Virginia Tech yet. We'll be doing that Friday, but
Okay.
I think it'll be some of these same traits. They're a fast team, play high possession games. I think they press a decent amount, which for this Pitt team will be really problematic because they have, their primary ball handlers are freshmen who in their games against pressing teams have really struggled. I'll be intrigued to see what Ryan Luther's playing status is. I think with him that game will be a little bit more manageable. Not that I necessarily think they'll win, but with Adam, I think you're going to play a team that's going to force Pitt into a really uncomfortable pace. And I think the fact that it's on the road, wins for this team in ACC play are going to be really hard to come by. I mean, there's probably a list of about 3 or 4 of them that you can look at and say, okay, I think they stand a decent chance here. I don't think Virginia Tech's one of them.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this ACC. It seems like it's a lot of competitive teams. You don't know every night. You don't know who could beat who, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's sort of a weird league this year. I mean, last year we talked a lot about how deep it was. I mean, I think they ended up getting 9 teams in the tournament. There's talk they might even be able to possibly get 11 teams, match the Big East's record from 2011. I don't see that as much this year. I mean, I think it's. I don't think that it's a top heavy, but you clearly have in upper echelon, I think, starting to establish itself. Mm-hmm. Where you've got North Carolina, Duke, Virginia looks great so far. I know I'm probably forgetting several teams here. I'm just kind of breezing over them. And obviously we've got Miami too, a top 15 team. I think the middle and the bottom seems a little bit softer. I think if you're going to make the depth argument with the conference, Boston College is a pretty good place to turn because they're a team that was picked second to last, and they beat Duke at home. They damn near beat Virginia at Virginia. But then you have teams like Pitt, who's 8-7 right now and lost to Montana, Navy. And you have Georgia Tech, who's I think still maybe below 500. They've lost to Wofford and lost to Grambling and Wright State. There's still teams like Wake Forest and and Clemson that I'm still. Well, I guess Clemson's a different deal because they're a top 25 team. But teams like Wake Forest and NC State that I'm really not all that sold on yet. I think the top of the league's as good as it's been. In the past several years, but I think that the middle and bottom of it's a little bit softer.
Yeah. Well, Craig, thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoy the game this weekend, and I hope to talk to you more down the road.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back here on HerbFM Radio.
Can you sit here and listen to our voices tonight? They seem so broken by these sands of time. Give me just one more chance to see your light. That's all I'll ask tonight to find all the memories are just now. I shut away where I dream of.
All right, folks, welcome back. We have Kelly Quinton, the Jackets Online, Rivals.com. Kelly, thanks for joining us. The reason I had you on the line here because JMU is playing in the championship game this weekend, and you guys you used to have a running back named Marcus Marshall. running for the Jackets. Now he's up there in Harrisonburg. So what type of running back was he with Paul Johnson and all that stuff?
He was kind of a power / speed guy. His brother Keith Marshall played at UGA. Was a pretty high-level recruit. Marcus wasn't quite as talented, a little bit shorter than his brother. That kind of hurt his recruitment a little bit. He ended up going to Georgia Tech over Wake Forest. But at the end of the day, he kind of he just didn't really enjoy the academic aspect of Georgia Tech. The majors, it's kind of restricted. They only have a few majors. Most kids major in business. And he just wasn't particularly happy, so he decided to transfer. He went to JMU, where I think his dad played, and just to get an opportunity, I guess, a fresh start and have a more pleasant experience, I guess, for his last 2 years of college football, because he played as a true freshman and a sophomore at Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm. So did he have to sit out for a year?
No, so he has. So next year he'd be a senior.
Oh, okay. So when you go down to the sub level, you could automatically play the next year, right?
Yeah. So he was immediately eligible. He played. I mean, I guess he could have gone to an FBS program, but he chose to go down and play. He wanted to go somewhere where he would definitely play right away and wouldn't have to sit out a year. He's actually a pretty good student. Took a lot of like AP classes and stuff in high school, so he may actually be a little bit ahead anyways. But yeah, he didn't want to have to sit out the year, so that's I think part of why he went also down to the FCS level.
Yeah. What did Paul Johnson? Does anybody ask him about him since he left? A lot of people have they talked to him about him?
Yeah, I mean, he discussed it with Coach Johnson when he left. Paul talked about it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he was one of a couple of guys. Like, he was not the guy. Dedrick Mills had beat him out, who was a true freshman the previous year. And they had another kid named Kervonte Benson, who ended up running for 1,000 yards this year, who was in the same class as Marcus. So it was sort of not a huge deal to them. He was sort of a guy. His kind of shining moment was in the win over UGA in 2016. He had a really big game for them, had a couple nice runs. And then he had a few other games where he did some nice things. But at the end of the day, it wasn't like a make-or-break kid for them.
All right. Well, you're there tonight for the basketball, so you changed sports. Now you're there for basketball. Georgia Tech's taking on a Miami squad. It's 12-1. They lost out there in Hawaii, so they could have been undefeated coming in this game. So what does the Yellow Jackets have to do to pull off the upset tonight at 9 o'clock?
I think the big thing for them is just get hit shots. That's been their biggest struggle all year. When they're shooting the ball well, they are a very good team. When they don't shoot the ball well, they struggle, and it's a struggle for them to find offense right now. They have three guys who are their primary scorers, Ben Lammers, Josh Okogie, and Todrick Jackson, and they've only been healthy and playing together for probably 2 games this whole season. So, Okogie missed most of the non-conference schedule with a finger injury, and then Todrick Jackson was suspended and had an injury as well. Ben Lammers has been battling a sprained ankle. So if those 3 guys play well, I think they have a chance to win the game.
Well, talk about Coach Pastor. What is his second year there? What do you think about his second year there at Georgia Tech?
Josh has done a nice job. It's kind of a total rebuild. He didn't inherit a great thing. They overachieved a lot last year. They're rebuilding and recruiting. You can kind of see the plan. They had really not many pieces because the prior coach, Brian Gregory, was using a lot of grad transfers, 1-year rental players, and that kind of messed up a lot of stuff for them. Wow.
Well, looking at the schedule, you guys have to go non-conference, one more non-conference game against Yale. That's an interesting thing during the ACC schedule.
Yeah, Josh Passner doesn't like to have a bye in the ACC schedule. They like to play the 2 games a week. So he scheduled, last year they played, who was it they played? It was another team sort of like Yale. And they played like a non-major conference game in the middle of the season. And then this year their bye was like in week 2 of the ACC schedule. So they wanted to make sure that they got a game in there so they can kind of keep their momentum going. And it'll be a tough game for them as well. I mean, it's no pushover. Yale's certainly a decent basketball team. It's not like playing Southwest Missouri Western College or something.
Yeah, and plus you guys have to play Notre Dame next Wednesday night, so that's going to be a good way to have a good test against the Yale squad. Because I think, does Notre Dame and Yale play exactly the same? Because I don't know what Mike Bray plays a lot.
Yeah, there's some comparisons, and obviously Notre Dame, Georgia Tech just played them in the opener, and they were in the game for probably about the first half and a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they play on their own home court. I think that had a little bit of a factor playing on the road there, kind of caught up with them in the second half. So that'll be an interesting sort of game. Last year, Georgia Tech beat Notre Dame here in Atlanta on a buzzer beater play, which was one of the top plays of the year in the ACC last year. So I'm sure both teams are going to be good for each other when that game rolls around.
Yeah. Well, Kelly, I know you're a busy guy. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope you enjoy the game, and I hope to talk to you a little more throughout the winter.
Sounds good, man.
All right, we'll be right back here on HerbFM Radio.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. You just got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. Whoa, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Been walking my mind to an easy time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Well, there's hours of time on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines in pieces on the ground. Whoa, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always
All right, folks,
thought...
welcome back to the Sports Desk, and we have Nicole Holden, the Director of Events and Facilities and the North Dakota State Foundation and Alumni Association, on the phone with us. And they're doing something very special down there in Frisco, Texas on Friday, the day before the championship game. So, hi, Nicole. Thanks for calling and thanks for coming on the show. Talk about what's going on down there for Friday night for Bison and alumni.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Chris, for having me. We're really excited. This is, of course, our hopefully sixth championship win in the last 7 years. So we unfortunately couldn't come last year, but we are back this year. So we are having a Pep Fest the night before the game. We like to do this for our Bison Nation, our fans and family and friends and alumni. So what we're doing is we're having a Pep Fest at the Dr. Pepper Arena in Frisco, Texas. Mm-hmm. That's going to be Friday night. Doors open at 6 p.m. The program starts at 7:30. We are going to have a beer garden at 3 p.m. as well, just because our fans like to tailgate every chance they can get. Mm-hmm. Open the doors a little early for a beer garden.
Oh, that's good. Excellent.
Yeah.
That's good. And
Yeah.
So how cold is it up there when you left for Frisco, Texas? How cold is it up there in North Dakota?
I won't lie, it was like negative 25 or negative 17, I think. And then like with wind chill, it ended up being like negative 50 is like what it feels like. We were at the coldest place on earth over this weekend. So it's a little chilly in Texas, but it's nice and toasty warm for us.
Yeah, you probably felt like you went to Florida going down to Texas with like 40 degrees probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I packed my winter coat just in case because I've heard the game can get really cold depending on what Texas weather's like. So I did pack warm, but it's feeling good for us.
Yeah. With your alumni association, is there a lot of other alumni around this area? You know, in the state of, you know, like is there one in Maryland or Delaware or where we are? Is there any of them?
Oh, Bison Nation is literally across the nation. A lot of our alumni stay in the Fargo-Moorhead area and throughout the state of North Dakota. But we've seen a lot of people reach out who are excited about the Pep Fest and the game, and they're in Texas. They went to NDSU maybe in the 70s or 80s or 90s or whatever it was. One thing that's really cool is we have a Bison app tracker. And what it does is you can log in, and it's on Android and iPhone.
Okay.
And it tracks where everyone is coming from to the game, and it's like this kind of like this, not like a heat map, but sort of like a heat map. So you can kind of see where everyone's migrating from to Frisco for this weekend. So that's a really cool way to see where Bison Nation's all traveling from.
So I guess there's not a lot of people in North Dakota this weekend. They're probably all down in Texas pretty much.
Yeah, we call Frisco South Fargo, so taking it over.
Nice. Well, talk about you. What do you do with the university there? You know, what is your major title? You know, as you know, your job there.
So the NDSU Foundation and Alumni Association is really the fundraising arm of the university, and so we work really closely with the deans of all of the colleges, and we work with our gift officers, and we build relationships with the alumni, and we work on fundraising, whether it's for endowments or for scholarships, for fundraising for infrastructure for the university. And just keeping people who went to NDSU connected with the school, whether that's through the athletic programs like Bison football or through the academic things that the university is doing. So.
Wow. So this, what do you? I know everybody's been talking about it, you know, for the last 2 weeks. What do you think? I know you want North Dakota to win. So what do you think on? I'm making you an analyst real quick. What do you think about JMU? You know, playing against you guys. I know last year JMU beat you guys in the dome. Yeah. Do you feel like there's a lot more, revenge coming?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say this is a little bit of the perfect storm for us going into the championship weekend playing JMU. Of course, JMU is who beat us home field advantage at the Fargo Dome last year in the semifinals. JMU was the reason we didn't come to Frisco last year, and so to be able to play them back at Frisco for the championship this year is a really big deal for the team. It's kind of like a sweet revenge in a way to be able to play them one more time. So I think I think playing JMU, I don't think we could ask for a better fit on that. That's a good competition for us, and we're excited too because we're told JMU fans travel pretty in large numbers, kind of like we do, and so it'll be nice to have a really strong competitive fan base as well as a competitive team.
Is it going to, like, that whole stadium, the Toyota's field, whatever they are, the soccer field where they're playing football on, is it going to look like the Rose Bowl with, like, all different colors around there?
Yeah, I'm going to bank on you're going to see more yellow in those stands than anyone else. So, but we'll see. JMU's, are they gold and purple? So there could be a lot of yellow from them too.
Wow. Well, Nicole, thank you for coming on. I know you're trying to stay. I hope you stay warm in Frisco, and if you want to stay there, you might want to buy some property there so you don't go back north. You know, that might be
We'll just be back every year. Yeah, we got a timeshare now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, I hope you have a fun time this weekend, and just tell folks again if there are any North Dakota fans listening to us, where are you going to be setting up on Friday night?
So Friday night, Dr. Pepper Arena. Doors open at 6. Program starts at 7:30. You can find more information on our website, ndsualumni.com. You can also buy tickets at the door if you would like. Otherwise, you can buy them in advance. But we hope to see you there. We're going to have some Bison football players who are now with the NFL. We're going to have Blind Joe, who's a local, who's on The Voice. So we have a great program planned, and we're really, really excited about it.
Well, Nicole, that sounds like fun. So good luck, and I hope to talk to you more down the road.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right.
I'm ahead, I'm the man, I'm the first mammal to wear pants, yeah. I'm at peace with my lust, I can kill 'cause ain't got a choice, yeah. It's evolution, baby. I'm a beast, I'm the man, I'm a stocks on the day of the crash, yeah. On the loose, I'm a churn, all rolling here, I'll flatten them out, yeah. It's herd behavior. It's evolution, baby. Admire me, admire my home, admire my son, he's my cone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This land is mine, this land is free. I do what I want, but irresponsibly. It's evolution, baby. I'm a thief, I'm a liar. There's my church, I sing in the choir. Admire me, admire my home, admire my son, admire my cones. 'Cause in appetite for nightly feast, those ignorant Indians got nothing on me.
All right, folks. Welcome back to the Sports Desk here on HerbFM Sports Radio. I'm talking in mono because I have a clogged ear, but I have Don Izzo, who's the sports director there in Fargo, North Dakota, coming on to talk about the Bison. They're playing in the championship game this weekend against JMU. So, Don, thanks for joining us. Just talk about this matchup. It's been sitting here for 3 weeks. Now it's game week finally.
Yeah, it's probably actually been sitting for over a year since James Madison came to Fargo last December and beat North Dakota State in the semifinals, a loss that still stings with Bison fans, definitely, and a majority of this Bison team, which is back after they lost the game last year. I think this is the game we were hoping to get all season long, and thankfully the committee got the bracket correct, so the top two teams could meet here in Frisco for the championship, because that's not actually been the case the past years that NDSU has got here. I think they've played some hot teams, but maybe not necessarily 1 versus 2, and that's the case what we have here on Saturday. These are the top two teams by far in this division, and it sets up what could be a I work at TV Sports, so I guess I got to build up the hype machine. I think we could have an all-time great on Saturday.
Yeah, let's talk about last year. JMU coming up there and winning on a last-minute field goal and beating the Bison in the Dome, and then they went on to win the national championship. Now it seems like those two teams were 1 and 2 the whole year, and now it's just they all met in Frisco, Texas, and this sounds like it's like Alabama and Clemson, in the subdivision pretty much.
A little bit. I mean, these two teams had eyes on each other. I think they won't ever admit that. Maybe after the season they will, about what the other was doing all year long. I can tell you, we were following what James Madison was doing in Fargo. I certainly was, because I was curious about what they would follow up with, knowing what they had back this season. And as they throttle East Carolina, I don't think I was the only one going on the limb saying they wouldn't lose a game maybe until the championship, and they certainly proved that correct. They only were tested a couple of times with Richmond, and then the thriller they had with Weber State in the quarterfinals. But what they did to South Dakota State, a team that beat North Dakota State, and how they beat the Jacks, I think that opened even more eyes back in Fargo. But this has got all the makings of a great game. I think back to Marshall and Montana played in 1996 when that was the Randy Moss Marshall team, and that was the defending champs against the team that lost the championship the year before, and that's kind of the same setting we have here in 2018. It has all the earmarks of what could be a great game.
Well, talk about JMU has a good running game. They had that Marshall kid who transferred right from Georgia Tech right to Harrisonburg. So what does the Bison have to do to stop that running game?
Yeah, that's a great question because this is the best running game by far the Bison have faced. It's like looking in a mirror here. What NDSU likes to do is run the football, play great defense. James Madison loves to run the football, physical team, and play great defense. Marcus Marshall and Trey Sharp are just both really dynamic running backs. Marshall looked like he was running without anybody touching him in the game against South Dakota State 3 weeks ago. And that's something the Bison defensive line and their linebackers are just going to have to be sharp in this game. The big thing is that they didn't have three standouts on the defensive side in the game last year that they will this year. That's Nate Tangway on the defensive line, Nick DeLuca, who's an All-American at linebacker, and Jabril Cox, who's a freshman linebacker, who was named the Missouri Valley Freshman of the Year, who's just had an unbelievable season since coming into the lineup in late September. Those three guys can be impact guys and will need to be if the Bison want to win this game Saturday.
Yeah. Well, talk about Bison. They have another Carson Wentz. Is it his cousin or his brother?
It is. Yep. It's his cousin Connor. Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about him. He's the tight end, right?
He is. He's a senior tight end who's had a really breakout season in his finale with North Dakota State. He's a great blocking tight end, but he can catch the football as well. He had a big touchdown in the quarterfinal win against Wofford. He's become one of Easton Stick's guys to go to pick up big plays, and he can rumble as well. He's not as nimble as his cousin, but he can move down the field, and he's proved to be a very big weapon for the Bison offense.
Is there going to be a lot of Bison alumni there, for the former championship teams being there supporting this team?
Yeah, that's been the case on Friday, which started the first year NDSU came down here in 2011, where the former players gather on that final practice. And Craig Bull started it, the former coach just continued it, where they had maybe 100 alumni to start, and now they'll have 300 former football players here on Friday before the game to reminisce and talk with the current team. And I know the current team really gets a kick out of it, and I had the privilege of being in it for the first couple of years before the media got kicked out of there. But it is something to see, and that to see the former players come back. Kyle Emanuel has been back, who plays for the Los Angeles Chargers, to Marcus Williams, to Joe Mays, a lot of the home run hitters of this Bison football program, and that'll be something to see on Friday.
Yeah, it's fascinating. The quarterback you guys have is actually Carson Wentz, he was there. He was backing up Carson Wentz 2 years ago.
Yes,
yeah.
He got NDSU here in 2016. Easton Stick took over after Wentz broke his wrist in the middle of the season. He went 8-0, turned the starting job back over to Wentz, who was healthy, and then Carson had an amazing championship game as they beat Jacksonville State, and then obviously Wentz went on to what he's doing in the NFL. Stick has just nonchalantly put up a 33-3 record as the starting quarterback and gotten his team back here, and he's had a fantastic year. He had a little blip in the middle of the season where he had 7 interceptions in 3 games, but he's been lights out in the postseason.
Wow. Well, let's talk about I know you guys are coming from a cold area. It was like minus 20 up there to a.
Yes. That's without the wind chill.
Yeah, and you probably feel like you just went to Florida for a couple of days.
Yes.
But Florida's cold now, so it's pretty funny.
Well, apparently everywhere is cold, even in Texas down here. But the Bison fans are hardy. I can imagine some might be wearing shorts on Saturday because it looks like it might be 50 degrees. So that's a 70-degree swing from what we're dealing with back in North Dakota. But we'll be ready for it. It looks like the weather's going to be great for the game on Saturday.
Yeah, talk about the weather down there, because I know last year JMU played in an ice storm pretty much, and it was cold there in Texas. They had an ice storm, and just talk about the weather there the last couple times you've been there.
It's been actually dismal, to be honest with you, that game day. It's been overcast and kind of gray and just not all that nice. I was just thinking back, the last time we had a sunny day here was 2000 to beat Towson to complete their three-peat. The first 3 years we were here, we had sunny and nice days on game day. Honestly, it doesn't really bother the Bison. They played in a snowstorm, their final regular season game at Illinois State. It changed from rain to sleet to snow in about 5 minutes, and NDSU didn't really blink in that game. So, and I don't think it's going to bother them, whatever the conditions are on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, real quick, talk about these two leagues. The CAA, I covered a lot of the CAA here. I'm not making the trip out there. You cover the Missouri Valley. Are they both the same conferences together?
And this is no offense to the CAA. I think the CAA is top heavy. James Madison is really good. Richmond is bubbled up and had a couple good years. I know they missed the playoffs this season. Elon came up and had a really good year this year. Albany and Stony Brook. It looks like Stony Brook had a really good season as well. Villanova's kind of dropped down. I think I'm curious now that Delaware's got Danny Rocco there. I'm curious. The Blue Hens come to Fargo next year, so I'm really curious to see how they advance in 2018. But I don't believe so. The Valley has 5-6 teams, and they could have honestly had 7 make the postseason this year. And I don't think anybody would have blinked. When you saw how the tournament played out, there were some teams that were just completely overmatched in the postseason. I know New Hampshire is always really good, and they made a run before they got trampled by South Dakota State in the quarterfinals. But I think the power is right now with the Missouri Valley. Saturday, though, will go a long way to saying maybe it's the CAA's time, though, and it has to be somebody other than James Madison.
Right.
NDSU had the same problem a few years ago where it was just them and everybody else caught up to them. And let's hope that happens in the Colonial, where say, okay, this is where James Madison's at, this is where we have to get at. And have Valley, because South Dakota State, South Dakota, Northern Iowa, all up the ante and try to get more competitive with NDSU. I hope that's going to be the case with the Colonial here in the years to come.
Well, I agree with you, because I think JMU, but JMU last couple of years before Coach Houston showed up, they were struggling.
Yep.
So it's basically, it seems like JMU has been good the last 2 years, but it seems like everybody in this league, trying to match up to them.
I mean, the CAA was the conference though for years when Delaware was winning with Casey Keeler, and it was Richmond or Villanova. You had a different CAA team win the championship, so they're not that far removed from being on top. It's just the Valley, and specifically NDSU is coming, kind of taking the stranglehold away from them, and now they've got it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Dom, thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you have fun Saturday, and hopefully you guys could enjoy the weather. And I don't know, I don't know, you might just want to stay there for a while.
I appreciate the call. Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll be right back here on HerbFM Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gale Diamond.
All right, folks, thanks for tuning us in here on HerbFM Sports Radio on the Sports Desk, and we're going to do our championship preview. I had a chance to interview Coach Chris Kleeman, the head coach of the North Dakota State Bison, and Coach Mike Houston last week on the teleconference call. So here is the interviews that I had with them, and we'll get right back to Brian Roberts, who is the president of the Dallas-Fort Worth Dukes alumni down there, and we'll see what they're doing for the game for Saturday. So here is the interviews right now. Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the trip to Frisco for the national championship.
Appreciate it.
Just talk about JMU. Talk about their running game. Seems like they got a kid from that transfer from Georgia Tech and Marshall. What do you guys have to do for a week from now to stop that guy from running? Because he seems like he knows how to hit all the holes. And against South Dakota State, he just ran like 75 yards and all that stuff. What do you guys got to do to control that?
They're going to do a great job of being gap sound. They did a good job of creating some openings against South Dakota State. South Dakota State missed some fits, and we can't miss our fits. And they have a tremendous running game. They do some zone stuff, do some gap scheme stuff, and backs, and he's probably their leader without question as far as yards and stuff. But they have a number of guys capable, and we have to do a great job of tackling too, and something that we've emphasized and need to do a great job of. He's a big back, trying to get him down.
And talk about your team's success for 6 out of 7 years in Frisco, Texas. Why are you guys so successful the last 6 to 7 years going back to the championship game? What's the key for you guys to continue that success?
We have a great culture here. Our guys understand how to win. They know how to win close games. They believe in the system. They believe in each other. We've had a lot of former guys that come back and talk to the guys about doing it for the guy next to you and doing it for all the guys that put the jersey on before you. And it's hard to find in college football these days is sustained success for that long a period of time. And to our assistant coaches for a phenomenal job getting back there this year.
Thanks, Coach. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your holiday season.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, folks, welcome back. We got Brian Roberts, who is the president of the Dallas-Fort Worth JMU Dukes down there, the Alumni Association of James Madison. So, Brian, thanks for joining us tonight. Talk about what are the special events you guys are having down there for the folks who are coming from Harrisonburg.
Well, that's a great question, Chris. Thanks for having me on. So we have lots of activities for all of our alumni and family and friends and fans of JMU and JMU football. So we get everything kicked off starting tomorrow night, Thursday, at the Green Gator, just adjacent to the Toyota Stadium. We did the same thing last year. We have a big happy hour kickoff starting at 6 p.m. at the Green Gator with drink specials and food specials and some special JMU themes all throughout the night. And then we follow that up on Friday with our huge pep rally event. Starts at 4 o'clock at the Star here in Frisco. And that continues on through the evening at two different venues, the Concrete Cowboy and then at City Views there in Frisco. And then Saturday morning, of course, we've got tailgates. We also have some special brunch programming at a couple of the local restaurants, the Green Gator and the British Lion as well before the game. So those who want to have a special brunch right before kickoff are welcome to do that. And then have some great tailgating experiences right before the game as well.
Well, it's pretty cool for you to having the Dukes there in your area, so you don't have to travel all the way back to Harrisonburg. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's great to have the Dukes here. We also have, one of the things. So we have about 400 alumni here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And we're actively engaged all throughout the year doing volunteer events. And we have some social engagement events as well across the Metroplex. And to kind of dovetail on that, we're also doing a give back event on Friday morning from 10 until 12 at Frisco Family Services. We'll be working in the food pantry and also in their resale shop, so to benefit Frisco families in need. So we have a lot going on, both from to enjoy the national championship weekend, but also to give back to the community.
Yeah, this whole, I was looking online, and the Alumni Association for you guys, it's all over the place. You got people in California, Rhode Island, you guys, you got people in Florida. It just seems like JMU people just, when they go to Harrisonburg, they just bring everything back from Harrisonburg to their cities.
Yeah, and that's what I'm glad you said that, because it's exactly what we try to do, right? We try to bring a little bit of JMU really all over the country, and we're all about hospitality and giving back, at JMU, and so we really aim to spread that across the whole country.
Yeah. Well, Brian, it sounds like you guys are having a lot of, going to have some good events and all that stuff, and I hope you guys are enjoying the game, and hopefully you guys could bring home, hopefully the team brings home another championship, because I have a house in McCaskiesville, Virginia. That's where my parents are right now. So, so it's good to come down there and see you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's exciting, and we're just thrilled to have have JMU football back here in North Texas. This is, the third time in 3 years we've had JMU football here in North Texas. Of course, the national championship last year, and then the previous year, JMU came down to play SMU and came away with an exciting victory three seasons ago at SMU. So we love our JMU football across the nation, and particularly here in North Texas. We're just thrilled to have everybody back again.
Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you have a good time down there, and hope everybody has fun and be safe, and hope you guys could have a good time at the game.
We sure will. All right, thanks for your time.
All right, that's Brian Roberts, the president of the Dallas-Fort Worth Dukes, the alumni for JMU. We'll be right back here on HerbFM Radio.
I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the...
Hey, Coach Mike, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Congratulations on the trip to Frisco.
Thanks a lot. You guys too.
Talk about the layoff, the last, with 3 weeks off. Is there one thing you as a coach are afraid of as a letdown? Because you guys have been playing every day, since, practicing since August, playing, playoff games all the way up to Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Is there, you afraid of it, that letdown or, the rust and all that stuff?
No, I think it's probably needed. And I would say probably the same thing for North Dakota State. When you go through, a 14-game run, we did have the 2 bye weeks, but that's consistently, really having to go after and attack it. And I think the mental and physical break is really, really positive for our roster. And I think it allows you to maybe prepare a little more in depth for your opponent. So I think that's why you see, I thought we had a pretty good practice yesterday. There was a little rust, but I think those just have a very, very sharp practice today.
Well, talk about the third quarter in the game against South Dakota State. You guys just came out at halftime and you just ran the football, and Marshall running a great, 75-yarder and maybe an 80-yarder. Just talk about his development. I know his father went there, and the legacy and all that stuff. What does he bring for you guys to know that you have somebody you could hang up the football, in the backfield?
Well, I think Marcus is a gifted athlete, and he's certainly a home run threat. He's never touched the football. And I think you're seeing him now finally kind of come into his own, understanding how to play within the scheme. And certainly that was a huge quarter for us there. We had a good lead at halftime, but to come out, we scored. Right out of the gate, we get the ball back and score. Immediately again. I think we forced a turnover and scored a third time.
Folks, welcome back. We're wrapping up the show with my main man, Ewan McCreef down there, our buddy and pal, our beat writer, our everything with HerbFM Sports Radio. So, Ewan, how's everything going down there? Are you staying warm down there?
It is bitter cold, but 'tis the season to be thankful. Coming down the home stretch here in college football and then entering the NFL playoffs, it certainly is a great time to be a fan.
Yeah. Well, last week you went to a good football game last week between Wake Forest and Texas A&M, and some guy, Mr. Jimbo Fisher, was sitting there watching the game. So just talk about that game. It was back and back and back and forth, pretty much.
It was funny. I don't think in all the years of covering Florida State we've ever seen Jimbo Fisher wear cowboy boots, but I saw him walking through the press box, and man, he had some spit shine cowboy boots, if they even come spit shine, representing the Aggies. But the game was incredible. I mean, what do you say about a game that has? I felt like I was on a playground. All I saw was seesaw action. Each team taking the lead back. It was a fantastic game. 107 points, Herbie. Wow.
Yeah, it is. It was back and forth. It was like, Wake Forest was up, and then all of a sudden Texas A&M took a 14-0 lead early, and then Wake Forest just came back, and then it was like basically you were like seeing they'll score a touchdown, you score a touchdown. It was like back and forth pretty much.
It was. At the outset, you're right. A&M behind a special teams touchdown and then a more conventional passing touchdown took a 14-0 lead. That really seemed to get Wake fired up. 31 unanswered. You just don't see that in any level of football. 31 unanswered, and then the real chess match began, Herbie. A&M, just Christian Kirk is going to be an incredible pro. I mean, this guy he didn't have to make a highlight reel for NFL teams. This game was his highlight reel. 3 touchdowns? Are you kidding me? Caught everything in the yard and made all the tough catches. And on the flip side, how great is it? I mean, for me being living in Charlotte, it's great to have something good happen to Wake Forest.
Yeah.
The football team does not have a big following. Even in basketball, it's more about Duke and Carolina. So it was just awesome to see Wake Forest come win, and it's great to have winning in Winston-Salem.
Yeah, that's true. And they're doing, and Coach Clawson's doing a great job with that program. Getting them, getting that team back on track pretty much after having, the guy who was there before.
Absolutely, and John Wofford, a really great kid, a senior, a leader. What a way for him to go out. I mean, you couldn't have written a better storybook.
Exactly.
Las Vegas, or they couldn't have made California. Hollywood couldn't have written a better script for this guy. Just lights out.
Yeah. So we're turning the page here. We've been doing a lot of just before we turn the page. What do you think about the national championship game?
How do you not take Alabama? They're healthy. They dominate the line of scrimmage. I know Georgia's running game is something, but I just think nothing. The only thing that was going to stop them, was Clemson. I think there's a reason why they're a 4-point favorite. I think Jalen Hurts is hungry. That was the big difference. Well, besides the domination on the line of scrimmage, but he just played with such poise, and I love the play calling. And it was a beautiful mix of run and pass. I think it continues, and I think Bama knocks off Georgia to win.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we're going to be switching over to basketball. What do you see in college basketball in the ACC?
Well, obviously, Duke's got some sensational young players that they just seem to reload. But, AC, we're still in the middle of, just getting conference play underway here. And, it's just been a little bit of back and forth in Carolina. I mean, hey, let's talk about Wofford for just a second. Let's give them some love. Beating Carolina as a 20 to 25-point underdog, Herb. We can't talk about basketball until we recognize those guys.
I know. And I think North Carolina's playing a home-and-home series against them now, pretty much. That's what I heard.
Head up to Raleigh-Durham and go to Cameron. And, I need to get up there to a game because, and frankly, Herbie, we have to get you down for that game.
I know. We should. Yeah, I'll be down there. I'll be as soon as we get off of probation, we'll be good to go. That's all I'm saying.
Right, yeah. And Herbie, you're missed and you're loved down here in Charlotte, pal. And the game was great, but it certainly wasn't the same without you. But hey, you know what? Down here in Charlotte, Herb, when we got the 49ers, they're hapless. They have the only kids that go are drunk students. Okay. It's good to have those Winston-Salem Demon Deacons win a game like this against, an SEC opponent and one that played well. They just showed a lot of heart. I mean, you think you go up 31, maybe you keep rolling, and then A&M comes back and takes the lead, and then, Wake Forest, and it's just back and forth. An absolute scoring barrage at Bank of America Stadium.
Yeah. Well, next year, looking at the schedule next year for football for the ACC, you have Alabama, who might be the national champs, taking on a Louisville squad that you don't know if Lamar Jackson is going to be there or not.
I think Lamar's going to get paid, Herbie.
Yeah, I know. Big money guy. But it's good that we got a chance to talk to him the last couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is awesome. And although the SEC is going to win the national championship, whether it be the Bulldogs from Georgia or the Tide from Alabama, we still are the conference of champions in my book, Herbie.
Yes, we are. And then also I was looking at the schedule for down there in Charlotte. You have Tennessee and West Virginia playing each other next year for opening weekend.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice matchup. There's a lot of maybe on the next show after the national championship game,
we can talk about some of the vacancies that will continue to happen in the NFL, as well as some new college football vacancies.
Exactly.
At the head coaching position.
Yeah. Well, my buddy, thanks for coming on, and we're going to play some of the interviews that our buddy Lee from the Carolina Sports Radio Network gave us from the game last week, and we'll finish up the show. And hope you guys could tune in next Wednesday night, January 10th at 7 o'clock. We'll be doing this all over again.
All right, Herbie, great. Hey, Happy New Year, pal.
Happy New Year, buddy. Yeah, and stay warm. And I know it's going to be chilly the last cold the next couple of days. Stay warm, bud.
Warmer up there, buddy. You stay warm as well, my friend.
Hey, I'm playing hockey tomorrow, so I'm just letting you know.
Not so bad. I hope on an outdoor pond.
Probably on my driveway because of everything's so ice cold, freeze, ice everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff, man. All right, listen, take care, and I say I'm gonna go Alabama 34, Georgia 28.
Okay, let me write that down.
By 6.
34-28.
You got it. What do you got, Herb? You marking it down?
I'm marking it down right now. Alabama. Okay, I'm picking. It's going to be a defensive struggle, because both defenses are very good. Oklahoma literally shut down Baker Mayfield on Monday. In the second half. Yeah, so I look at it. It might be. I don't think it's going to be an LSU Alabama game where it's like 10-3 or 13-3. It could be like I want to say maybe 20-10. Alabama because they have the experience. Yeah, that's the thing. Alabama has the experience, Georgia doesn't. So.
Oh, that's true. Let's see if they can stop the 1-2 punch.
Okay, so I put down Alabama 20-10. Okay, we have it on record, and we'll talk about it next Wednesday.
All right, buddy. Listen, take care. Have a good night.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
You got it. Bye-bye.
All right, folks. We're going to wrap it up with our friend Lee from the Carolina Sports Network getting some audio from last week's Beck Bowl.
John, congratulations, the most valuable player
evening,
in the
everybody
2017 Belk Bowl. It's got to mean a lot to you. Final game as a senior at Wake.
Yeah, it's huge. This senior class has worked so hard in the 4 years that I've been here, and to close it out with this type of game, where both sides of the ball had to step up at the end, it ended the right way, and I'm so happy to be a Deacon.
You got 38 points in the first half. You broke all the records for most points in a half of any team that's ever been here. Slowed down a little in the third quarter, but you got it going when you needed to in the fourth.
Yeah, that's football. There's going to be adversity. The third quarter we hit a lull, but we knew we needed points in the fourth, and guys stepped up and made huge plays, and we closed the game out right.
What's going through your mind when Matt scores that touchdown to put you ahead?
No, I'm thinking about if we get the ball back, what we're going to do, and I'm hoping the defense gets a stop, but you got to be ready for the next series.
Final game here, the culture at Wake football. It's now winning football under yourself, Coach Clausen, and all your teammates that have done this. What does it mean to you to leave with the legacy that you guys had the last 2 years?
It means a lot. This senior class set out that goal to raise the notch again from last year, and I think we did that. And then, moving forward, we want the expectations to be even higher. So the pressure's on for the next senior group, and we want Wake to be a power in the ACC every year.
This is what you worked for since the summer?
Yeah, no doubt. These are moments you dream about.
Congratulations once again, MVP 2017 Belk Bowl.
Thank you very much.
What was going through your mind as you ran that ball into the end zone?
Man, I just had a feeling that they were going to try to shoot inside, and I just had a feeling that the lane was going to be open outside, and it worked well for me.
I mean, you guys got a lot of points in the first half. Second half, you guys stalled a little bit, but you got it going when you needed it.
Yeah, we were in a little bit of lull, man, but I just prayed so hard, God, whatever happens, whatever we do, just let us forget it and let's move on and let's hit the next drive, man. We just killed it. Offense was moving so fast. The offensive line, oh my goodness, man, they were just putting guys in the dirt. I couldn't be more proud of this group.
How big was this win, ACC, SEC, coming in here in Charlotte, not far from campus, to win this game in front of all these fans?
Man, it's freaking amazing, man. You always hear, throughout the past, decade, 2 decades, the SEC is the premier league, but we've showed today that, ACC, we can compete with anybody, man. I'm just so proud of these guys because we really can't do it without these seniors, the leadership that they've exemplified on the team. It's unmatched.
this what you guys worked for all season long?
Oh yes, man. So many words. You just can't even represent what we've had to go through. All the blood, sweat, and tears. Those guys on the stage deserve it, man. I'm so proud of them, and I can't wait for next year.
Go celebrate with your teammates. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.